Good afternoon. I'm going to work today. I'm going to do a little black walnuts that we've harvested. Picked up off the ground, mostly over at my nephew's place. Quite a crop this year, and they pretty much are a real pain in the neck unless you unless you want to pick them up and harvest them and use them. Otherwise, they're just kind of a real problem. So a lot of people are really glad to have you pick some of them up for them. And I did. I haven't done this for a few years, but I decided I would do it again because I've been buying my black walnut meats from an Amish fellow that I know. And you get about a 2-cup bag. It'll cost you $12. And black walnuts are pretty beneficial. They're high in some really good oils that are supposed to be very good for you. So I try to use them quite a bit in baking and stuff that we do. So I'm trying a new method for getting the hulls off them this year. I'll show you what I normally would do, and once I get the camera set back up, and I will show you what I'm doing this year and how it works. Anyway, we'll get back at it in a little bit. So this is where the walnut harvest begins, and that's in the fall when these beautiful walnut trees start to turn color. You'll all of a sudden you'll find your ground and everything else covered with walnuts, and so it's just kind of the beginning of the process. And most people don't use them, so they have to get them picked up and they have to throw them away someplace, and then maybe the squirrels will find them and haul them off. But I got some helpers here. They're very, very good. And so that's how it all starts anyway. So we'll be getting some picked up, taking them back for the rest of the process. Yeah, good afternoon. This is Dave back here. We're going to go a little further into the black walnut harvest that we had some picked up, gathered up with the help of my little helpers over there. And now we're going to start to deal with them. Look in the bucket to see some that we have here. And some of the equipment we're going to use. It's a little unconventional type thing, but there's other ways to do it, and we'll cover that as we get to it. Other than that, I guess I'm just going to get set up and we'll start going through. Well, we're going to start in here, and one of the first things you really need if you're going to handle walnuts is a good pair of non-penetrable gloves, because if you do not wear gloves, you will have really brown hands, and there's no washing it off. It pretty much gotta wait until it wears away. We're, like I said, going to use a little unconventional method, and then I'll show you some of the conventional methods. But this, so this right here is a corn sheller, and it works really good for shelling if you've got dried corn. I've got some flint corn back here in the shed that we'll be doing on another video maybe here. But it kind of works okay for walnuts too. You pretty much gotta use a little plunger stick here like this, because walnuts, of course, are not shaped like an ear of corn, you can imagine. And if you don't get them fed in there properly, well, then they won't go through. How this all works is rotate this thing, and there's a bunch of teeth in here, and the walnut will go through, and it's kind of also a rotating deal, so it rotates it out there, and they come out fairly clean. They come out pretty good. And I just let everything fall into the tub down here. Now I'll show you what we do. Through there. Let that now it's being a little uncooperative, but it'll go. So there you are. It'll fall in. It's a little faster than some of the other methods. I'll show you here in a minute, but there's nothing about this whole process that's easy or fast. But I'll go into some of the benefits of these walnuts a little bit here, a little later in the video. Anyway, you kind of get a feel for how that works. All right, let's talk a little bit about the other methods, and there's probably a lot of different things you could do, I suppose. But the normal method, other than my corn chiller, would be to like take a nut like this, and well, we talked a little bit about the nut itself. A lot of the things I read say that you're going to want a nut that looks something like this, still green, but don't pick up something that looks like this, because this is immature, as hard as a rock. It's no good, basically. You can see another one just like that, little ones that just fell off the other day because the wind really blew hard. But anyway, you kind of look for a nut that looks like this. And you can see you can stick your thumb in it like that. It's not hard, it's not dried out. That one's okay. They say that you want to avoid, well, you can see one right here that's started to dry up quite a bit. You might be able to get that shell off there without a lot of problem, but once they start to dry up, they're going to be more difficult. They might come off in my corn chiller, but not so good by hand. Well, anyway, what they usually do, they'll just take a hammer like this, whack it like that, and then until you split it. And then you can just kind of peel the nut right out of there, throw it into your bin, go on to your next one, and you can see it works pretty good. It's fairly fast. I think my corn chiller is a little faster. Not so bad. So anyway, that's the method that most people would use. So what I do once I get these through the sheller, and I've got this mess in my tub here, I put them on this inclined screen here. I will separate the nuts, let them just roll down, let them roll down there. You can do it. You don't have to do it this way, of course. It's like just that I thought this would work a little better. Once you separate the nuts from the hulls, and I can tell you right at this point, right now, what you want to make sure is don't think for 1 minute that you can put these in your compost pile or put them on your garden or anything. Walnuts have a compound in them, and in just about every part of the tree, from the leaves to the twigs to the root system, called juglone, I believe it is, and it is kind of a herbicide. Nothing grows well. Well, there's a few things that are not susceptible to it, but a lot of things just don't grow well. You want nothing about these black walnuts to be near your garden or where you're going to do it. The best thing is to find a place in the woods and get rid of them where they're not going to hurt anything. So that's how that goes. And then yeah, this is Dave. We're going to talk a little bit here. I got to apologize. I took some videos of cleaning the walnuts and how I did it, like in a bucket of water, and I seem to have either not pressed the record button or lost them somewhere. So I'm just going to try to explain that a little bit to you. After we got done getting those hulls and the nuts separated, and threw them into a bucket of water. And generally, what I would do, or what I did do, and you just didn't get to see it, was I've got this attachment for my drill, which is basically it's a paint stirrer. And so put the walnuts in a bucket of water, and then you take your little electric, either corded or uncorded drill, and you stir them up good, and that gets a lot more of the pieces of hull and stuff that's sticking to them off. It makes them a little easier to handle and to dry better, maybe, I don't know. So anyway, so we did that, and then when that part of it was done, we would, I brought them in, and I'll take you out and show you where I dried them and how I dried them. So we will look at that right now. So I'd show you the part of the crew here. There's one of my guard cats, Cinco. He's cat 5, Cinco, Gato Cinco. Because we had 5 kittens that showed up here one time quite a few years ago, and so that's how we got his name. And then we got PETA down there. You know what that stands for. And Calpurnia there. And up on top, where it's warmer, is Smokey. So it'll help me keep the squirrels away from the nuts, don't you? Yeah, you're a good cat. Well, yeah, I almost forgot. We got Red over here too. He's another watchdog. He's like we'll talk about him someday. He's a anatomically correct boot scraper. He's made out of solid cast iron, but yeah, so he's the best dog there ever was. So anyway, we'll go over the cracking of these nuts right now, I guess, a little bit, and talk about the method I use. And generally, you know, these black walnuts are going to be a little different. Like if you were to crack a pecan or something, you would stand it on end, and you would whack it. And pecans, by the way, crack a lot easier than black walnuts. But anyway, you'll end up with 2 halves like this if you do it with these black walnuts. And well, those nut meats are locked right in there. You're not going to get them out. So that doesn't work. So when you're going to crack a walnut, you take it and you lay it on its side, such as this, and you hit it like that. And generally it'll break into like about 4 pieces. Hence, the walnut cracker gets to eat as many as he likes, by the way. Well, I'll normally do. I'll throw them into a container like that, and we will, I'll take them into the house later, and I'll go through them. You know, they make nut picks, you know, you've probably seen them come in a set lots of times. And so if you've got any, this one particular one doesn't have any that are stuck in there. The meats have actually all fallen out. But if you crack one like this, see how it goes. And you want that to kind of break into the 4 pieces for you. And this one here is going to come out clean too. Actually, this nut's kind of dried up. Probably, I always keep them, but they don't taste quite as good as the ones that aren't dried up. Anyway, if you get into it and you can't, you got one that's not going to come out, you know, if you don't have a nut pick, you can buy these picks. They're like mechanics picks. They look like a dental tool, and I guess that's probably what they are, but you can use that to pop these out. And so that's what I generally do is take them into the house, watch TV maybe, while I sit at the counter while I'm watching TV, and I sort through them. You want to make darn sure that you don't get any, you'll see a lot of little pieces of shell floating around there. You want to make sure you don't get it in there because they're very hard, and they're very hard on your teeth. So you got to be careful of that when you're separating them. Take a little time to do it. The other thing about this, when you're doing this, is when you crack this, I mean, don't overdo it, or you'll have, you smush them all up and it doesn't work out pretty good. So that's how you do that. And that's pretty much the process. I get done, I take them and I put them in bags, and like maybe a cup or so in a plastic bag, and keep them in the freezer, and they will keep like indefinitely in the freezer. So if you think this all get done here and you think this all looks like a lot of work, well, you're right, it is. But yeah, up here in Wisconsin, it's the dead of winter, January 3rd, and got a lot of snow on the ground. Not much else able to take place around here except shovel a lot of snow and push snow and whatever. So this is kind of a good project, and I've got only about maybe 30 or 40 projects going on here in my shop. That's one reason it's a mess, but the other reason it's a mess is because that's usually how it is. So anyway, that's kind of the end of the walnut thing, but we're gonna do a few other things here this winter. I got a whole bunch of these Stanley hand planes that are here, and I'm going to do a little video on them and I'm going to take this one, tear this one all apart and clean it up, maybe paint it up, and make it look pretty again. And sometimes I sell them. Some of them, I got a few up here on the shelf that I keep. We'll get more into that as we go on, though. But anyway, we're going to call that good for the walnut video. Well, I'm going to tell you one more thing. After taking a little time and trying it again, I've decided that the corn sheller is probably not any faster than just sitting down with that little hammer I was using and breaking that husk and doing it by hand. I think I can do it if you get it set up in a reasonable situation like that, where you don't have to do a lot of reaching and running for things. You can probably do it just as fast, and it works out pretty good. So anyway, we're going to call it good for the walnut video. Try to get this posted. This is going to be my first video, so it's kind of rough. My editing skills need to be improved, and my videographer skills need to be improved also, but we'll get there. Thanks for watching. Bye. So anyway, what we're going to do is finish up this walnut harvesting video and show you, I showed you how to crack them in the last one, and I'm going to show you what I do with the rest of it. Well, anyway, I'll get these ones that we cracked, and I'm going to go through them and use my little pick, if I can find that, wherever I did with that. There it is. All right, my automotive type, dental type pick anyway. And as we go through these, you'll find a lot of these that are in here are going to be empty already. A lot of the meats have fallen out into the box here, and they'll be, you get down to the bottom and get done, you'll have big chunks like that in there. So what I generally will do, I'll take a bunch of these and I'll put them on a cookie sheet like such. Move this out of the way so you see what we're doing. And I'll just start going through, take the ones that are empty, pick out a bunch of the ones that are empty and that are in the road here. And I got a bucket down here. We'll throw them in there. And, get a lot of them out of my way. And then we can just start in with the pick. I'll keep them separate over there like that. We'll get in with a pick and we'll work some of these out. Some of them come out easier than others, of course. Like that. And like that. If you use one of these picks, you got to be careful with it because they're really sharp. You don't want to drive it into your hand. I'm speaking from experience here. So anyway, there's just not much to it other than it's a good job for another winter day that we're having here. Well, it's kind of nice out. The sun's showing most of the day. Got up to 31, I see right now by my indoor-outdoor thermometer. So that's pretty good for the 9th of January. So it's just like I was talking about with the cracking nuts, it's just another good job for the winter time. And so that kind of just brings to the end here. Well, I will tell you, these are that half a bucket that I cracked out there. I probably went through about maybe half of a bucket, and I've got like that many nut meats. There's probably at least 2 cups in there, and by the time I'm done, I'm sure I'll have more over 4. So it's a pretty good bunch of nuts. But anyway, thank you all for looking, and like this. Give it a thumbs up, I guess, if you do like it. Any comments, I will try to answer any questions anybody's got. But and I will be posting some more videos that are going to be different things. Some things are just stories and whatever. So, well, thanks for watching. That's about it for the walnut harvest.